Welcome back to Dummy Boy Finance. I'm Dummy Boy, and so I was doing some research today. I ended up buying a stock, and I wanted to go over exactly how I find my undervalued stocks so that you guys can do this on your own as well. So the first thing that I do is I go onto this website called finviz.com. So this right here is going to be your lifeline when you are looking for stocks. So when you get to the site, the first thing that you want to do is you want to click this screener button, and at this point you're going to get a lot of these options that come up. And so to narrow it down, we actually want to click this all button right here so we have every single option that we want to look through. And so when we're looking through all of these options, depending on what your plan is for your stock, you're going to choose different things. So for me, I want to find an undervalued stock right now that I can buy and hold and comfortably know that it will eventually go up because of how undervalued it is. And so the first thing that I do when I look for an undervalued stock is I look at the PE ratio. So the PE ratio right here, I am going to click it and I'm going to put under 5. And so just for people who don't understand what the PE, the price to earnings ratio is, when you have a PE of around 15 to 20, the stock is considered fair value. If you have a PE less than 10, the stock is considered undervalued, and then anything above 20 is considered overvalued. And so the reason why I put it under 5, because I know if I can find a stock that fits the rest of my criteria, a PE under 5 is going to be extremely undervalued. So when we scroll down here, we're going to get a list of stocks right now that have a PE ratio of under 5. The next thing that I like to do is I like to click the volume button, because this is going to let me know the stocks that have had the highest volume of late. I like stocks that have really good volume because I know people want this stock, or this stock is currently hot right now, which means that there is a better chance that this stock is going to go up or down because of the volume. And so then we are left with a whole bunch of stocks with a PE less than 5 and with very great volume. And so what immediately hit my eyes was this ticker JOBG Group. It has a PE of 0.55 and it trades at 60 cents. And so the reason why it popped out to me is because of how low the share price was for how low the PE was. So immediately I'm looking at a stock that is extremely undervalued. And so when I look at this and I click on job, I want to know exactly what it is. And so obviously because of the pandemic, we've had issues with employment, and so job has taken a major hit. So I personally don't like to use this chart. This is when I will go to tradingview.com and I will be looking at my stock this way because I'm more comfortable with this platform, and I can also do a better dissection of my stock. So you can see this stock has had a pretty wild run. We've seen major gaps on this chart that eventually have got filled, but right now we are at a very low point. But you can see that today we actually broke over our 50 SMA. And so this is a stock that I ended up buying today because as I was going through my research, I liked how undervalued it was, but then on a technical basis, what confirmed for me that I should buy this is that we are finally above our 50 SMA. And so if you look in the history of the stock, we were well above our 50 SMA for about a year. We were hovering around it, and then we absolutely crashed here during March, and then we never really looked back. We have a gap to fill now to the upside at around 86 cents. And so at the very least, from the current prices, I expect job to get to about that level. However, I do think this is going to lead to a lot better upside than just 84 to 86 cents. If I look at my accumulation since our bottom right here, we've actually had a lot more people coming in and buying job stock. The next thing I want to mention is our MACD actually had a very nice bounce off of our signal line, and it looks like our MACD could potentially be getting up into the positive range, which would be extremely bullish. And so you guys know that anytime that this green line, which is our 50 SMA, crosses below any of these other lines, it is a bearish setup. It is indicative of a longer term downtrend. And so when you see this setup, you don't want to enter the stock right away. Personally, I wait till the stock price goes above the 50 SMA because that is letting us know that maybe the tide has turned and we are starting to look a lot better and maybe we have bottomed out. And so when I look at the history of the stock, since about April, it has just been trading in this 50 to 60 cents range, but now we are finally above our 50 SMA. And so you can see our 50 is well below both our 200 and our 100-day SMA. And if I'm looking at our price action right now, it does look like this is a bottom zone here for job stock, especially because the economy is going to start to open up. People are going to start going back to work, and then we are going to need a company like Job to get the employment back on track. And so again, just off a simple setup, I bought this stock. It is very simple to find stocks depending on what your criteria is. I'm in no hurry, so this was not a day trade for me or a swing trade. This is a long-term buy and hold for me. I was looking for a cheap stock at a very good price, and under $1, I think I could not go wrong with Job. Of the stocks that we went through under a 5 PE, it had the second highest volume, which means right now people are aware of the stock. People are looking at Job stock. When we're looking at it on a technical level, we have a gap to fill here at around 85 cents. We are now above our 50 SMA, and it does look like we may be bottoming out. You can see our 50 is starting to curl up a little bit, and this could be a sign that we are ready to start moving up here on Job. And so this was a pretty simple play for me. It is this easy. When you go to finviz.com and you screen for whatever you want to screen for, you have the opportunity to look at stocks that maybe you never even thought of and industries that maybe you've never even looked into, and you can find a lot of great opportunities. A lot of the stocks that I have found that I've made money on are from FinViz. I usually narrow down my search using different search engines, which I will go over in other videos. I'll show you other ways that we can find shorter term trades, swing trades, every other play that we can get in the book using the filters on FinViz, and then following it up with a dissection of our charts so we get a better price point of when to enter. And so this was actually a pretty lucky opportunity. I was going through all my stocks and I decided to research some more because I wanted to add some new stocks for you guys to also look at, as well as for me to buy into. And coincidentally, when I looked at the stock chart, it was the perfect day to buy, considering that we finally broke above our 50 SMA. And so I'm not telling you guys to go out and buy this specific stock. I just wanted to show you guys how simple it is to find a stock. And sometimes it's all about the timing of when you buy the stock, not what stock you buy. And so when I look at this chart, it does look like there's a lot more upside here than downside, specifically at the prices that we're trading at right now. And so Job for me was a stock that I ended up buying today, and I wanted to go over a video explaining how I personally found it so that you guys can do the same thing on your own. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like. We are on the road to 10K subs, so if you made it to this point, feel free to hit that subscription button. This is Dummy Boy Finance. I'm Dummy Boy, and I'll see you guys in the next one.